Hello and welcome back to Unit 4, our Paint One-Point Perspective Room project. We're working on Lesson 4.15 today, and we're going to add images to our wallpaper, to our TV, to our artwork in all kinds of different ways. So let's go ahead and take a look. I'm going to get out to the outside screen here, and I'm going to open up my project. So we're going to start by going to our documents. We're going to go to Digital Art Studio. We're going to open up our one-point perspective room, and I keep forgetting that I put this in the other class. So let me get it here. Here it is. I'm going to right click on it, open with, and force it to open in Paint. All right, so here is my finished project. And what we're going to do is we're going to start by putting a picture, let's say, on the poster behind the bed here in the composition. So one of the things that I need to do this is I'm going to go File, New. I need two documents. So down here on the bottom of my screen, I have my untitled document, and it just opened on top of. Hold on, I need that one. I'm going to minimize that, and I'm going to reopen this one here. Open with Paint. Okay, so I have two. I can go back and forth between my blank document and my drawing. So we're going to start looking at our drawing. That's a pretty pretty square image behind the bed there that I'm using. So I need to look for an image that would be a square. So I'm going to go to my empty paint, and I'm going to go to Google, and I'm going to do a quick Google search. And I really like the movie Fast and Furious, so we're going to go with an image from this movie. So I need to find an image that I like that is sort of square-ish, or that I can cut into a square for above the bed. So this looks pretty cool. I think this would be fun. I won't get the whole thing, but I'll get maybe the faces and the part of the car. So I'm going to start by clicking on that image. I'm going to right click on the image and tell it to open the image in a new tab. So now I have just the image. I'm going to right click on that image, and it's of high quality. If I did this back here, I would be saving the image or copying the image. I'd be getting a clip version or a thumbnail version of that image. By opening it in its own tab, I have the best quality image possible. I'm going to right click on this image, and I'm going to copy it. Okay, now that I have that, I'm going to go to my blank paint image, and I'm going to go Edit, Paste. There it is. Okay, decent size. A lot of times these will be huge, and I have to scale them down. The more manipulating you do of this image, the more pixelated it will become. So we don't want to mess with it too much. So I'm going to leave it just like that, kind of move it into the white space so I have space to work around it. And then I'm going to go back to my drawing. I'm going to get my selection tool from my drawing, and I'm going to make sure the selection tool has transparency selection with a check mark in front of it. I'm going to use the rectangle, and I'm going to draw a rectangle around this image, and I need some reference information. So we're going to go with something like that. So I got some ceiling reference, I've got some bed reference, the baseboard. That's pretty good. And I'm going to copy that. So Control C to copy it. I'm going to go back to my untitled blank image that has my artwork, or the image that I want picture on it, and I'm going to paste, Control V. When I paste, notice that that white area is still transparent. So I could go and do something like that and get just those three characters. I could go down here and focus in on this. Something like that would be kind of cool. Whatever I want to do. If I want more, I can put this over here to the side, and you can go as crazy as you want with this. I'm going to select this. Again, the more manipulating I do with this image, the more pixelated it will become. Make it a little smaller. I'll reselect what I have over here and drag it on top. Notice I got less of it. I'm always going inside. So let's go something like that. I think that's pretty cool. I'm going to go once again inside and select this. Now, what you have to remember is you cannot resize your drawing. You can resize the photo you bring in, but not your drawing. So I've selected inside that once more, and I'm going to hit copy, Control C. I'm going to go back to my drawing. I'm going to click off that selection that I had, and I'm going to hit Control V. So I've just pasted my room back in. Now this gets tricky. I need to line this up perfectly. So I'm using that reference information that we got. So I'm going to get it close. I can zoom in, and then I can use the keys on my keyboard. So I'm going to look at the bed down here. I know that it has to go to the right and line up. My keys aren't working great. Line that up there. So that looks pretty good there. But I think I need to go either in or back. So this side of the bed looks good. I need to go up because this is not matching up here. If I resize this, you'll never get it back in place. Okay, so I think that's pretty good. I'm happy with that. So I'm going to click off of it. And now it looks like it's always been there as part of my artwork for my room. All right, we're going to do this again. So if you missed that, we're going to go through and I'm going to talk to you about doing it on my abstract paintings. So let's go back to Google one more time. And I'm going to close that tab. I'm going to go over here. I have some abstract artwork. And I'm going to grab, I think this is cool. So I'm going to grab this piece of artwork, open in a new tab. I'm going to grab that one, copy that image. And I'm just taking chunks of it. Let's see here. Go back here. We're going to edit, paste. Okay, again, I can resize this, but the more resizing I do, the more pixelated or distorted it will be. So I've got that. I'm going to go back to my drawing. I'm going to use my select tool again, make sure that that select tool has that transparent selection option checked. Grab some reference information. I'll grab that. Control C to copy it. I'll go back to my untitled blank and I'm going to paste. Control V. I'm going to move this in until I have something that I really love. Let's see, something like that. I like that for my artwork. I'm going to click off of it. I'm going to use my select tool. I'm going to select inside. Again, a little bit of that reference information so I have it. That dresser is going to be important on this one. I'm going to hit Control C to copy. I'm going to go back to my drawing. And I'm going to hit Control V to paste. Careful that I didn't resize anything there. And I'm going to put this back in place. I'm going to use that dresser as a good reference. My crown molding, my baseboard is a good reference. I'm going to zoom in a little bit. I'm going to go up just a hair, 1 pixel, down 1 pixel. Check my left and right over here. That looks pretty good. That looks pretty good. My floor lines are lining up. Click off of it. Okay. And there I have some artwork on my back wall. Fabulous. I can do the same thing for the TV and the picture on the wall in my hallway and my outdoor scene here. So let's see here. Let's go back to Google one more time. We'll go back to Fast and Furious. Let's see what we can find for that TV. Now, here is a little trick with the TV. It is not a square. It is a funky shape. And so we need something that's going to be a little bit taller on the left-hand side and kind of getting shorter or smaller on the right-hand side. So we just want to kind of keep that in mind as we are looking. Anything that's like text is not good for televisions or things that are distorted on the sidewalls. You want to pick something that's a little bit different. So this actually might be kind of cool here, where Brian and Dom are on top of this car. So let's grab this image. We're going to open that image in a new tab. I'm going to copy that image. This is going to be one I'm going to have to resize. I can already tell. I'm going to go back to Untitled, and I'm going to paste that image in. You can see it is extremely big. So I want to manipulate this as little as possible. So I'm going to shrink this down. Thinking about the size of my television in comparison, that's still going to be kind of big. So let's go with something like that. Again, it can go anywhere on this thing. We can go over here in a cleaner space. So let's see about bringing that TV over. Okay, here's my drawing. I'm going to copy. I'm going to grab the select tool and I'm going to select parts of the TV, some reference information around it, Control C to copy. I'm going to go back to my Untitled document and I'm going to Control V to paste. And I'm going to bring it over and I'm going to have to line it up. That looks pretty good. You do not want to do something like this because then you're going to have white space in the top. So we need to make sure that we're going to get really close here to these guys. That looks pretty cool. I'm going to set that, and then I'm going to grab my selection tool, select inside, again, a little bit of reference information. We're going to copy that, go back to our drawing, and we're going to paste it in and then reposition this. So again, this is the tricky part. You got to be really patient with yourself as you're trying to line those things up. Get it close, zoom in, check it. This door frame's off a little bit. Let's go right there. Check the other edges, check the ceiling. Everything else looks good. We'll click off of it. It's like it was never there. And now I brought in a couple of cool pictures and some cool artwork. We'll do one more over here. I think we're going to go artwork on that one. So I have, let's grab with my select tool some of this, copy that, go over here, paste it. We're just going to use some of this artwork there, I think, and we'll just reselect it, copy it, and go back and paste it. I'll put this, reline this back up, and click off of it when I'm happy. All right, so I've got some neat artwork. Last thing over here is a window. So I didn't look one up, but I'm going to look up in Google real quick. Let's see some outdoor. Ooh, what about night? What about a night scene? Ooh, this could be cool. All right, I found a cool picture. I'm going to copy that picture. I'm going to go back here and I'll paste it in. Again, this is extremely big. So we're going to shrink it down. My window is not very big, and I want to get parts of that. So we'll see there. I'm going to grab my artwork. I do have that the X on top of the window. It will come to just fine. So I'm going to grab my select tool and draw a box, some reference information, copy that, go back to my untitled, paste it, figure out what I want to keep. Do something like that. And then I'm going to draw another box on top of it, copy that, and go back to my image. So I've done this now a bunch of times. It's a process, and it's something that you just have to kind of play with a little bit and take your time, be patient, line those things back up. If you let go of your mouse and you need to remove it, you certainly can. That looks pretty good. I'll just click off it. Nice. I'm really happy with how my room has come together with all of those different things. I've also used this same technique to do fat heads. I've also used this same technique to do entire wallpapers in rooms. So if you wanted to do something like that, you certainly could. For example, if you did a wallpaper, you would just start out with that wall as white, pull that entire wall into something else, and then put your picture behind it and bring it back over. So you can certainly do those things if you like. So take this technique and apply it in really creative ways to your project. I'm going to, at this point, go ahead and save my project. So I'm going to hit File, Save, and I'm going to take a screenshot. So I'm going to use that Windows Shift S button, and I'm going to draw a box around the entire screen almost. All right, that screenshot is in my snipping tool, so I'm going to go ahead and save that screenshot. Click that Save button. I'm going to put that in my Documents, in my Digital Art Studio folder, in my screenshots, and this was lesson 14.15, or I'm sorry, 4.15, and it was adding images. And we're going to hit save. All right, so now I have my screenshot. I've saved my project. You can submit that screenshot into your progress sketchbook for feedback. I'd love to give you some feedback on your project. If you have any concerns or questions about this step of the project, please reach out to me and let me know. I'll be happy to answer any issues or questions. Otherwise, enjoy this and enjoy the process.